Hi everyone, this is Jocelyn Starfeather, and I am going to be speaking to you today about anger. Now, anger is really up for us right now, and there are some astrological reasons for that. There are, of course, some societal reasons for that, and inner turmoil reasons as well within each of us. So let's dive in, and I will share a little bit more about all of that. Now, we are feeling anger especially strongly at this time because Mars is extremely active in the skies and in his aspects to other planets. And so Mars is the warrior god. And he is needed and he is necessary, but he can be very difficult to work with and very difficult to feel his energy because there is a lot of anger. There can be aggression. And he's considered one of the two malefics. Mars and Saturn are considered the malefic planets because they can be the most difficult to deal with, and they bring us some of the hardest lessons that we need to learn. But ultimately, of course, all of the planets, all of these planetary aspects and transits that we're experiencing now and always are truly meant to help us evolve into our highest selves and bring our gifts forward in the best possible way. So we want to keep that in mind with all of this, including anger. So Mars, as I was starting to say, is the warrior god. He is the one who, on the positive side, helps us to move forward with important actions, really making things happen. He helps us to get things moving, to make things happen, to move out of procrastination and hesitation and into, yes, this must be done now, and I am ready to make it happen. And he gives us the willpower, the resolve. On some levels, he gives us the courage, right? Like the warrior needs to have courage to go into the battle and to take the actions to win the war. It's not a very intellectual or strategic war mindset. That is what the goddess Athena and the asteroid Athena is, Pallas Athena, is a bit more attuned to. But Mars is more about just the physical aspect of let's fight this battle, let's make it happen, let's charge right in. But in his more difficult, qualities, Mars can have anger come through that's very destructive, or aggression that's in a destructive way, or a fighting way, or a conflict-driven, confronting way. So right now in the skies, Mars is opposite Neptune. Mars is in Virgo at 22 degrees of Virgo, and Neptune is at 22 degrees of Pisces. So Neptune is quite different in his energies than Mars. Neptune carries a dreamy quality, very much about our ability to go and travel into the other realms and the other dimensions, to be in a meditative space, to go beyond the veil, even beyond the veil of death, and to come back. And Neptune is very much about illusion and delusion, and can be about addiction and the ways that we try to escape. So, with all that said, Mars opposite Neptune, one of the really big things that this is bringing up for us, and the reason that we are feeling anger very strongly right now, is because when these two planets work together and combine their energies, we are becoming extremely aware, viscerally aware of the places where we've been lied to, the illusions or delusions that we've been believing in, that we've been really thinking were truth. And all of a sudden, we're realizing this has been false all along. Maybe something you've been trusting in or hoping for or clinging to for months or even years. And you might realize now that you've been under an illusion with believing in that. You've been fooling yourself, or especially maybe you have not been following your intuition as you knew that you needed to do. And I feel this is going to come up for us especially strong related to all the places in our personal lives that we're not being true to ourselves. So maybe we're holding on to an old relationship and hoping and praying that it's going to work. Well, this is the time that we're going to realize that is not ever going to work, and we need to let it go. Maybe it's a job, a career that we've been holding on to, that we've been like suppressing the way we really feel about it to try to keep the peace, to try to make it happen. This is the time we're going to realize I cannot do this anymore. And we are going to get angry about it. Now, that's on a personal level, right? All the ways we've been fooling ourselves, the things we've been keeping in the shadows, not wanting to see. We're going to have to look at those now. We're going to have to deal with them. We're going to have to take action on them in some very strong way. And this is going to be a lot of letting go. So letting go of that old relationship or that old job, or letting go of the parts of ourselves that have been doubting, right? Maybe our intuition has been telling us that, like, we know we need to move forward with starting a new business or starting a new healing practice or making a difference in the world in some new positive way. And we've been pushing that aside and saying, oh, maybe later, maybe later. Well, Mars is coming in right now and saying, you need to stop denying your intuition, and you need to take action right now. Even if it's hard, even if it's confronting, even if it's painful. Take action now. So that's on a personal level. Now, of course, this is really strong for us on a collective level at this time as well. So think about all that's going on in the world, especially around COVID, vaccines, masks. Everybody has such strong opinions. It's creating a lot of separation. So that's Mars. The separation is Mars. And what's going to be coming up for each of us very strongly at this time is, where are we being lied to? And increased clarity on what is the truth in here. Okay, so there's all kinds of news, fake news, hard to tell what's the true news. We've got to come in here, back to the intuition, and connect with what is absolutely the truth for us in order to see what's the illusion out there. So what are the lies we've been told? Now, this is not, of course, not only related to COVID, vaccines, and that kind of thing, but also our governments, the policies, political events. We are going to feel a lot of anger about what's happening in Afghanistan right now, right? This is very sad. It's very Mars, the death and the tragedy of what's happening there. It's war for all the wrong reasons, right? And that's really hard. And innocent people are being hurt and killed. This is a negative aspect of Mars. So we as humans were under this delusion of our power in many cases, in these governments and in these, organizations around the world that are trying to take their power into their own hands in different ways. It's very Mars. So then all the rest of us will be feeling anger about that as we watch these situations play out. So there's a lot of seriousness with this. There's tragedy, there's mourning, there's grief. And so when we're feeling all of this, then how to navigate it, because this is incredibly intense, to really feel that anger of Mars, to really feel that people are dying, to really feel that these wars are being waged. It's very challenging, and it like hurts our heart. Right? Our heart is trying to help us navigate all this, and these things create pain in the heart. So we want to work through this in the most positive way possible. So how to deal with it? Okay, so one thing that is really important, we need to know that anger serves a purpose. And the winds are really kicking up here. Anger shows us where our boundaries are. And that is extremely important. We need to know where our boundaries are. we need to know where we've been lied to. We need to know where we've been lying to ourselves, and we're not going to do that anymore. We need to know where is the enough is enough. Okay, this transit is going to help us say enough is enough, and it's going to help us have clarity on how to take action to either correct a situation, okay, in your personal life especially, or simply leave a situation, let it go completely. Mars is the warrior, so sometimes he uses his sword to sever things. Maybe that relationship is done. Maybe with that job you are just done and you're just not going to go back. Okay, this is, and we want to be sure not to make those decisions too rashly, but what's coming through now and where we're finding our boundaries to be is really important to pay attention to and take action on. Now, we don't want to use our anger as a weapon. We don't want to use it to create unnecessary fights, to destroy things, to get revenge. We don't want to fall into that. That is the low energy aspect of Mars. Anger is very powerful, so we want to be really sure to use it well. And our anger, your anger, can wake you up to what is really important to you, to where you've been giving away your power, denying your intuition, or letting others drain your energy. Remember, it shows you where your boundaries are. And so here's how we can work with Mars in a positive way. And I want to share with you a quote that I heard yesterday from the amazing and wonderful Lee Harris. Lee said, "Don't be afraid of the power that is coming through you. It may be exactly what you need to carry you through to the next important stages in your life." So Mars is really showing us our boundaries, showing us our power, and helping us to access that in a way we haven't been able to before. And it's very interesting how, even despite the Neptune involvement, it's like the shattering of illusion. Okay. The illusion is being shattered. The spell is breaking. We are angry and we're ready to make the needed changes now. And it's like there's actually this new clarity that comes, even though Neptune is involved. It's really powerful. We suddenly know exactly what we need to do. So if you're feeling angry, but not knowing how to work with it in a constructive way, here's what is important to understand. That tremendous amounts of clarity and freed up energy can be achieved now because we are ready to shatter the illusions. We are ready to break the spells we've been under. Okay, we just need to have the courage to transmute the negative into the positive. So we can transmute anger into power by going deeply into the anger, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. We can transmute fear into trust. We can transmute confusion into clarity. Now, the way to work with the anger is that we have to let ourselves feel it. This is a very viscerally felt emotion, and there's a reason for that. It's because once it moves through us, it really can completely shift our perspective and bring us into our deep, deep power. So here's how to work with your anger. Here's what I recommend. And definitely set aside at least 30 minutes, maybe an hour to do this, to really, you want to go all the way into it. And you want to ideally, hopefully have nobody else around you in the house or wherever you are, because you want to be able to be loud with this exercise. If you can't find a place that you can be loud, then you can, at the parts that I say that it's, to do this, you can scream into a pillow instead of screaming out loud. Different things like that. So with the anger, you want to first just get a piece of paper and a pen or a page in your journal and write down all the things that you're angry about right now. So this may be things within yourself. This may be things in the external world. Okay. This may be political situations, war situations in the world, current events. This may be about COVID vaccines and masks. This may be about ways that you have denied yourself your intuition, ways that you've been lying to yourself. Okay, so write it all down and write it in an angry way, right? I did this exercise yesterday. It's extremely powerful. Write it in the most angry kind of letters that you want to. Like, really let it be fully expressed on the page. Scribble and scratch and tear your pages and like just let it all come out as you're writing these down. Then you want to get up and move. So all of this that you've just written down, writing it down does help you to release it. But we need another step. We need to go and just let our body move and our voice emerge in whatever way is needed to express that anger. So this may be stomping. Now, don't hurt yourself or break anything, right? Don't do anything that then you're going to have to like fix later in a difficult way. But go ahead and stomp and yell. You can get down on all fours on your hands and knees and become a wild animal and growl and just cry out as the animal within you expresses its anger. You can scream out loud. You can scream into a pillow. You can have an angry conversation with somebody, right? Really let them have it in this safe context of doing this exercise. Whatever needs to come through you to let that anger be fully expressed, go ahead and do it. Give yourself full permission to express. Now, once you have done that, so you've done the writing, you've released the anger through the writing, you've done the movement, the sound, everything that you've needed to express the anger through your body and your voice. Then I will invite you to listen to a drum beat. And I'll put a link in the description field for a really good drum beat that I use and enjoy. Listen to a drum beat and drop in and connect with your guides, or I particularly recommend connecting with the goddess Sekhmet. She is the lion goddess of ancient Egypt, and she is definitely our guide for navigating anger. So connect in with Sekhmet, or maybe the goddess Isis, also very fierce, or whatever guides come through for you. And really drop into your heart with them. By now, you've had the catharsis of releasing in these different ways, releasing the anger. And so you will probably be able to drop into a very calm and peaceful space. But because you've just been in this catharsis, because you've just been releasing so much, you will be able to receive the insights and the action steps and the sacred instructions from your guides in a deeper way, in a clearer way than would normally be available to you. So you do want to do the journey immediately after the releasing, okay? Immediately after the writing and then the movements and voice releasing. And so drop in for a full 15 minutes with this journey, with the drumming, and really trust what comes through. You will receive some very powerful instructions. Once you receive those and you come back out of the journeying space or the meditation space, write those instructions down so you don't forget. And you can also, while you're in that space, really ask your guides for how can you use this energy to come fully into your power. Because that's what we want to do here, is we want to take this anger and we want to transmute it into power to help you find your power to take action, your power to make change in your life, your power to start listening to your intuition in a way that you haven't before, in a way that didn't feel available to you before. But now you are ready because Mars is here and he is spurring us on and driving us forward to take the actions that are needed at this time. So this is how we can transmute that anger and turn it into our power. So we have this really strong Mars transit happening right now, but I want you to know that Mars is going to continue to be very active for us all throughout the rest of this year and into 2022. So Mars is going to continue making really strong aspects to other planets in the months to come, including and especially in November. So mark these dates: November 10th to 11th, 2021, Mars will be square Saturn. Okay, so these are the two malefics squaring each other. This is going to be very intense, and this is going to be very much about breaking down the structures that no longer work for us and taking action to build something new. And we're going to feel that so strongly at that time. And then November 18th, just a week later, Mars is going to be opposite Uranus. So Mars will be in Scorpio in his home sign, and he will be opposing Uranus in Taurus. This is about starting the revolution, both within our personal lives and out in the world to make the changes that are needed. So really, and we'll feel both of those quite strongly for the full week before and after. So really the whole month of November is going to be very intense with Mars energy. And so Mars is coming up so strong for us right now, as like an introduction. Get to know this, get to be familiar, start to be comfortable with this Mars energy, because we're going to keep working with it. We're going to work with it really strongly in November, and then again throughout early 2022. And it's to help us. It's intense and it can be difficult and challenging, but it's to help us come into our power. It's to help us stop denying our intuition and start taking action on the things that really need to happen in our lives and in the world. So be fortified by this rather than feeling victimized or overwhelmed. Okay. And like choose that. Choose to be fortified. Choose to be in your power, just as a warrior god or goddess would do. You have the power, you have the full capability to choose to be the spiritual warrior, to be the warrior fully stepping into your own power and make these changes happen at this time. This is what is needed. This is what's being called for by the universe at this time. So one more thing I want to say is that there is a huge amount of pain and fear and despair in the collective right now. And we're feeling this really strongly, right? This is coming up for us on personal levels, and we're also feeling it just that we know it's part of it is not ours. Part of it is just in the collective, especially those who are listening. I'm sure you're empathic and sensitive people, right? So you're feeling this. But we need to remember that there is also a tremendous amount of light and beauty and support and transformation flowing in at this time, coming in from the earth, coming in from the stars and the planets to help us. And we get to decide in every moment which of those two energies, right? The pain, fear, and despair on the one hand, the beauty, light, and support and truth on the other hand. We get to choose in every moment which one of those we're going to attach to, which one of those we're going to tune into and bring into our own energy field. Now, sometimes it gets hard to do that. Sometimes we get overwhelmed with the pain and fear. And then we need to work with that and forgive ourselves and be patient with ourselves, right? But I just want to call your mind to continually choosing to remember that we are truly being flooded and inundated with light and support and beauty at the same time as all these other things are going on. So keep tuning into the light and beauty and the support. Keep tuning into the fact that we are getting these immense energetic upgrades to help us and guide us. And keep tuning into the knowing that even the difficult planets, Mars and Saturn, are really ultimately trying to help us grow and evolve in the highest way that we can. So even when it's difficult, we're being given things to work with, to transmute, to shift into the highest energies. So really trust in that. Okay. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. Please go ahead and write in the comments how this is feeling for you, what's moving through as you consider what I've shared here. And absolutely share what's going on for you in your life in the comments. I would love to hear, and we'll be in here on YouTube responding to what you write. I am sending all of you so much love and blessings and courage and fortitude. We're all in this together, and we are making the shift together. It's super powerful. So lots of love to all of you. Mwah. See you again soon.